Welcome to another edition of Turf Talk. Vance, well-rested, week vacation. Hope that went well for you.
It did. I spent a little bit of time in a southern state with no pari-mutuel horse racing, although South Carolina does have a good racing link with the steeplechasing down there, the Colonial Cup, and also Aiken has long been a good wintering quarters for horses.
Yeah,
so,
Dogwood Stable.
Dogwood Stable. So had my toe in racing still, but kept firmly out for a week just to rest up.
Absolutely. Always good to recharge the batteries. Well, I won't say you missed it because I'm sure you stayed in touch, but Santa Anita Gold Cup, formerly the Hollywood Gold Cup this weekend, Grade 1 mile and a quarter race for older males. Going into the year, it looked like these races were just going to be absolutely stacked the whole year. We had the Derby winner coming back, Champion 2-year-old coming back, Belmont Stakes winner coming back, a bunch of the supporting cast from those races, Honor Code, Wicked Strong, etc., on and on. A few of them have showed up. Shared Belief has a Grade 1 win. Honor Code won the Met Mile. But looking at this Gold Cup especially, it does seem like the promise of this group has not come close to being fulfilled.
Yeah, it was a very exciting finish between Hard Aces and Opportunity, but the time was relatively slow, 2:02 and change for a mile and a quarter. Not near impressive enough performance to make you think any of that particular group is going to threaten American Pharoah possibly in the Breeders' Cup Classic. You mentioned Shared Belief. His loss is greatly missed right now.
Absolutely.
After his injury in the Charlestown Classic. Doesn't look like he's going to make it back before the end of the season, so he's gone. California Chrome pointing now for the Arlington Million without the benefit of a prep. I don't know about that kind of strategy, but we'll see what happens there. But right now I see only two horses really salvaging this division right now. Honor Code, who impressively won the Met Mile. He's headed for the Whitney. Tonalist, who I thought was going to win the Met Mile after a monster performance in the Westchester. He'll be back in the Suburban this weekend. So I think it's those two right now that have the best chance, like I said, of salvaging this division that's really gotten weak. And also I'd like to point out that this is kind of a typical year where Todd Pletcher has numerous good horses like Constitution, Palace Malice, and Race Day, and of course a lot of them have trouble staying healthy.
Right,
missing in action.
Liam's Map, who finally returned with, scintillating performance, as we've seen from him throughout his career, but keeping it together through the Breeders' Cup is the question. And then Golden Lad won the Cornhusker and got a 109 burst net speed rating, which is very solid. In doing so, Constitution's had some gaudy numbers too. It's just a matter of getting him in the right spot. Constitution didn't fire in the Stephen Foster, would have been a big Grade 1 for him. We'll see where Golden Lad shows up next. But yeah, you're right to point out Pletcher. We'll know he'll be at Breeders' Cup, but will be like Derbies where he has the numbers, but not the skill, for lack of a better word. And then I'll go outside the division real quick and just mention the sprint, because Masochistic, for as maybe lackluster as we think the Gold Cup was, the Triple Bend 110 burst net speed rating, and the sprint division's always salty. Any horse can fire in that division, it seems, especially, but this one just seems like sky's the limit.
Yeah, and you can't forget a horse like Private Zone as well, who's run so impressively. He's won multiple Vosburgs. I assume he may go try again in the Breeders' Cup Sprint later this year before going on to his obligatory trip to the Cigar Mile, which he's done really well at. So, as you said, it's a very salty division, and this year is no different.
And I think a big wrinkle with where horses go for the Breeders' Cup will be the fact that the mile is a very funky configuration this year, with the race being at Keeneland, which is a mile and a 16th oval. They're going to start the race at the traditional finish line and end it at the short stretch finish line, and the run-up's going to be a little longer too, so I think it ends up being like a mile and 40 yards or something like that. So to me, that's a big wrinkle in where a lot of these horses are going to go, because to me, that's not anywhere close to the mile we think of when we talk about the Met Mile or the Cigar Mile.
Yeah. And there's just so few tracks in America now that can do a true one-turn mile, which I think is the best way to present a top mile race in this country.
No question about it.
I mean, you're down to the Gulfstream Park Handicap, Cigar Mile, Met Mile as being the premier races like that are available around the country. Also, Churchill can do that as well.
Yeah, but they don't, they certainly card a lot of races, but, when you think of their stakes program, they actually are missing sort of a marquee one-turn mile.
They are, and maybe that will be changed in the near future.
Yeah, that September meet might have an opening for a race like that, but nevertheless, maybe we're not as thrilled with what the horses are doing compared to what we expected, but we did get a Triple Crown winner this year. Both classic winners from last year are still in training, and say what you will about California Chrome, he is taking a shot at a very prestigious race in the Arlington Million. Obviously, the prep is a concern and the foot issues, etc. But hopefully things will be more interesting from that camp in the summer.
Yeah, and this is kind of a trend that's been going on close to 10, 15 years now, where the major older horses, they really target the second half of the season and leave the Triple Crown and the 3-year-old classics that focus on the 3-year-olds of the first half of the year. So hopefully we'll see more and better performances in the next couple of months.
Yeah, no doubt. And the 3-year-olds will be coming back, Dortmund, Firing Line, etc. So plenty to look forward to. And we'll look forward to talking to you next week after the Belmont Derby and the other exciting July 4th stakes action. Happy holiday.